You may be hearing more about the idea of going into a stagflation economy. What does that mean and how do you navigate that? Well, first, a stagflation economy is really just stagnant or nominal economic growth. It doesn't always mean that it's negative, but it's not really strong and positive. And so it just kind of limps along, but it's also coupled with high inflation. We've seen economic cycles this in the past. Why is this unique and curious? It's because the Federal Reserve has a mandate to try and keep full employment as well as keep inflation under control. Inflation meaning that your dollar will go further in your everyday budget. And so we saw some of the effects of higher inflation the last few years. We're likely projecting to go to higher inflation by the end of the year, probably in the 4% range is what most forecasts are showing. And so typically the Federal Reserve would increase interest rates to help slow down inflation, but they also have this dual mandate of full employment. Well, in a stagflated economy, because businesses are struggling more with cash flow, typically unemployment increases because more layoffs typically come in that type of an economy. And so if they raise interest rates, that will exasperate the unemployment problem. And so typically they're stuck in the middle, and you don't see a lot of action from the Feds one way or the other, and the economy just has to kind of go through it. It's interesting as you look at inflation and working with that from a Federal Reserve standpoint. I like to use an analogy. If you've ever driven a boat versus a car, if you see something you want to change in a different direction you want to go, you just turn the wheel and you're there real quick. But with a boat, you're always looking ahead, and you're using the rudder to kind of push you to where you want to go. And sometimes you're accelerating, decelerating, just trying to kind of gently glide into the place you want to be. Well, that's like inflation and trying to manage inflation, deflation. There are typically things happening months in advance that are starting a flow in a direction of what's going. The tariffs certainly, and the uncertainty around that is one of the inflationary factors that will come in, especially later this year, is they've been in place, starting to work, and we'll see the effects of that come in later this year. And that's why most forecasters that we're heading into a stagflation economy. Now, what happens in a stagflation economy? I call it the battle of the balance sheets. And so companies that can manage their expenses and have larger balance sheets, possibly to pull from in the deficit to keep the company growing through that economic period, win. And so we typically see mergers and acquisitions increase as companies that aren't quite as financially fit realize that they don't have the cash flow to keep going. And so we see a lot of merger and acquisition. In your personal budget, a similar thing will happen. As inflation goes up, your dollar will not go as far. And so just like looking ahead and driving that boat analogy, you want to be positioned before the time comes that you need to yank on the wheel and change. So too many wait way too long to start doing course corrections. Some of the things that you can do, I would encourage you to not be using consumer debt such as credit cards and items like that. Get your budget in check. Keep your savings healthy. That same balance sheet that helps a business will help you. And so if you have a healthy savings account and some retirement assets that you may need to draw into a little bit as you navigate through that economy, you're going to be just fine. If you're finding that your budget is already tight, don't wait. Let's look at ways to help right-size that now and help get to where you have extra cash flow. That may be unlocking some of your balance sheet. Part of that balance sheet is equity in your home. And so that is one of the things you can unlock and perhaps do some debt consolidation to get your overall monthly cash flow down to help you navigate through a period that typically does last a few years because there's not a lot you can do to jar out of it. It's just it takes time and kind of an uncomfortable spot to get you through that. And so it's always best to move before you're in the last minute crunch and navigate that, and you'll be successful. So hopefully these tips are helpful for you as you start to hear that term more. Feel free to direct message me with any questions, or if you want to look at analysis to see if you're prepared and in a great position to be able to navigate this, give me a call, 801-614-5125. We'll review your situation.